What is up, everyone? So welcome to the first of many of the different critiques we're going to be doing here. So this was a drill session that I had done recently. If you saw the vlog, I had done that one. But what I wanted to do was go through some of the things that I did well and not well. So I'm going to be going through, show you all the good and bad stuff. And just like the little things. So these are things that help me out. Hopefully it helps you guys out. So this first one, all I was doing was snapping out at this target here. And then I think this was one that I was wrapping, but let's see here. So we're gonna start off. Yeah, so I was shooting at this top section right here. Something that you really wanna be careful of is be aware of your elbow. It would really help to have footage of like straight behind you and right in front of you. Ideally, when you're snapping, it's with someone. This one, it's more the accuracy that I'm worried about, but it's hard to tell for me right now. I could probably tuck my elbow in a little bit more, but if you kind of go with the shape of the bunker, like if I'm here and it's kind of like a Dorito, my elbow can come out a little bit more, whereas like a can, I really need to make sure that it's tucked in or else that's going to be sticking out. So if I went behind me, it's probably okay, but just looking at it, being nitpicky, that's definitely something that I could improve on there. Something that I'm seeing too is that I'm getting a little bit more motion out of my legs than I probably would like to see. Some guys like to kind of explode from their legs. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but personally, so the game evolves. So where I'm at right now is that kind of roll, that snap, at least out of an Aztec and especially out of a can. I probably don't need as much motion in my legs, but trying to get the quickness. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I know I'm kind of going back and forth on it. Just keep it to a minimum is what I need to do. So just having it where I'm not like that's a lot better there. So it's not a huge explosion because you don't want to waste energy. So because if you end up wasting energy, then it's just gonna hurt. So of course, make sure that you switch on both sides. Something that I tell people too is you got to watch out for your foot. This inside foot, you don't want it to come up off the ground. Some guys like to kind of turn. So you see how I have my foot turned a little bit and I have it still on the ball of my foot, on my right foot. This is something that some guys have, I kind of do it as well, but it's something that you just want to make sure that your foot isn't coming off the ground. The issue with that is when it comes off the ground, you're going to start to be unbalanced. So you just want to make sure that you have a good base. I like to shift my weight over a little bit so that way I can have a good solid base on one leg. Not that I'm ignoring the other leg, but it's more like a 80-20 or like a 70-30 in terms of where my weight is shifted to. So this one, I actually had it where it depends on who you talk to, is what I feel. But you can see here with my inside knee is the one that's up. What I like to tell people is, and this is why I was practicing it, it depends on what you're going to be doing. So if I was looking to launch, like let's say this is the back center and I was going to go to that can, having your inside knee as the one that's up helps you to launch out. So this way you can stay low and not have to stand up a little bit. But it's good to practice both because the advantage when you have your knee, the inside knee up, is you can snap a little bit lower. So this is something that you can use to mess with the other team that you're playing. So this is what I was practicing here. Not a whole lot to say with that one. So switching sides and maybe coming a little bit further than I needed to there, and that might have been the adjustment that I was making. Because you just want it to be that you're not coming out too far. You're trying to find that point that it's enough that you can come out and shoot past the bunker and still get your shot, but you don't want to come out too far because then that's just making it where there's more time for you to have to go back into the bunker, and it's giving your opponent something to shoot at. So what I do like, if I'm going to be battling with someone, I do like to have my outside knee as the one that's up. So that's why this one, again, just practicing different knees being up. I like having my knee up there because I feel like I can, if I need to really push, I can kind of use it to snap back in. Let's say I have to go in a lot quicker. The other thing is it makes it easier to stand up over the top real quick. So I can adjust my height quicker when that outside knee is up. So if I'm looking to make a move, it's probably going to be that my inside knee is up. Sometimes you just have to make a move regardless. So it's good to practice doing all of these different things. But if I can think through, like, let's say I'm in a position that I'm playing like a 2 or a 3 or playing up the middle and needing to battle maybe a little bit more or that kind of thing, when I'm snapping back in, I'll probably have my outside knee up. If I'm looking to make a move, if I'm playing like a 1 spot, I'll probably have my inside knee up. But paintball, you want to practice everything because you never know what it is that's gonna happen in the game. So again, just switching both sides and just making sure that I'm practicing everything. So this is out of the can, so you can see my elbow tucked in here. I'm kind of whipping my gun a little bit, so I need to make sure I'm just making a little bit more stationary. You can see my foot like I was talking about earlier. So it's not coming off the ground. It's just going to be, I have more, oh, that one actually, no, it's not coming off the ground. Oh, that did a little bit. So that actually helps me seeing this because I want to make sure that I have a good base with that. So I feel like I am whipping my gun a little bit. So this is, again, it helps me out. So hopefully it helps you guys out. And this one, I think I was trying to see how quickly can I snap out, especially here. I feel like when I have my outside knee as the one that's up, I can really snap a lot faster. But you want to make sure that you're practicing everything. And this one I was just practicing over the top shots. So just getting to the point that you want to make sure that you're going all the way back down. So let's see if I can, so like if a ball is coming over the top, I want it to go over me, but I don't want it to be that I'm too low that I can't snap back up real quick. In this case, like let's say I'm trying to pop back up real quick. And when you film yourself, this kind of stuff will show up for sure. So once I go over the top a couple times, I then go back over to the side snap there. And then of course I'll switch hands and switch over to that one. Periodically I'll do like a burst. If you're just strictly working on accuracy, obviously doing the 1 ball, there's going to be a higher chance that you hit the target. Sometimes if you have not as great paint, you know, shooting a burst and at least one of them hits. Obviously the ideal is that every single ball hits. But, you know, if paint's a little bit squirrely, you know, shoot a burst, and it's not bad. Like I kind of get used to getting into a burst. So instead of having the muscle memory of only shooting 1 ball, if I'm shooting a burst real quick, I can snap back in and have at least 2 or 3 balls out in the air. And then if there is a little bit of a variation, so long as it's going in the right direction, maybe the person's snapping back in and, you know, the second one hits them, but the first and third are on the outsides of them, let's say. So practicing a little burst isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't like how much I was moving my legs here. So there I'm getting a little bit more stability. It's a little bit off. So I need to make sure that I'm getting a little bit more of a base. Probably maybe shifting a little bit more would actually be good in that case. Even though I don't play in the snake often, you want to make sure that you're ready for whatever. So these over the top shots. And then with this, I'm going to have to see if I can point this out. So I have my outside knee as the one that's up. If I'm in a small bunker like this, because you really don't have a lot of options of where you can come out of. So snapping out the side and then coming over the top real quick, like I had talked about earlier, if your outside knee is the one that's actually up, it helps you to get that over the top shot quicker. But you can't go as low as if your inside knee is up. So it depends on what it is that you're trying to do, just kind of setting yourself up for success. And then, you know, ideally you're trying different distances and all that. My elbow, I think, could probably tuck in a little bit more here. It's tough to say just because of the angle. But yeah, actually, no, it probably could. This was one that I was trying to do just as how low can I get? So this is something I've noticed with some players, that they will snap out the very bottom sections of the bunker. And it's just one of those, it's just more tools in the toolbox to be able to use. So especially here in like a snake little brick or little cake, I want to be able to have that kind of a shot. I've seen guys that they kind of use their elbow as a pivot point. For me personally, I've never noticed that I can be as accurate or as fast. So like you can see the bottom section here, my elbow is kind of hovering above the ground. So I'm getting that same snap and kind of just hovering over that. Of course, if I was actually playing just this, my foot sticking out here is not going to be good. But if I'm in the snake and this is down the wire, that beam is protecting me. So it would definitely just be, oh, I moved that somehow. It would definitely need to be a situation for to watch out for. So this drill, what I was doing is running, gunning, shooting at this, coming out to the Aztec and shooting heads up here, and then wrapping to shoot at this cone. So kind of simulating, I'm shooting into the middle of the field. This is someone that is straight in front of me, and then I'm wrapping real quick to shoot at someone that might be posted, trying to keep me in. So either I'm gonna get the elimination or get them in, so that way I can make a dive out. And then snapping out. What I'm noticing is it looks like I might be kind of whipping my gun a little bit more again, so I just need to tighten that up. I don't want to use heat as an example or being tired, because that's the point of doing the drills, so that way when you are tired in an event, you're still playing well. So I just don't want it to be the snap. I want it to be the snap. I don't want it to be I'm kind of whipping my gun and coming out and kind of like doing that kind of a thing. It's like the fish, the snap, whatever. So just being mindful of that. So even though I'm having some decent accuracy, there's always ways to improve, right? So something else is my outside foot here. So something that'll help you guys when you go to run and gun, if your feet are straight forward, you're gonna have issues because you have to take an extra step to go out. If your foot's already kind of turned, then when you're launching, you're not having to take that extra step. You're gonna be able to be quicker coming out. Now this one, I was running and gunning, doing the same thing, but instead of running and gunning the whole way, I was sliding in and then coming up and doing the same stuff after that. So I feel like I'm a little bit tighter on this one, so maybe this could have even been that I noticed that when I slid out, like, oh, that wasn't as good. Be critiquing yourself every single time you're doing a drill, and don't second guess your questioning. Like if it doesn't feel right, do it again. It's okay. It's not a bad thing if you need to do something again. So just make sure that you're progressing. Don't just assume that everything was okay. If something didn't feel right, if there's no one else there, try it again. But if there is someone else there, have them critique you so that way you can see. And of course, getting the wrap there. And doing the same thing here. I think part of the issue when I went to wrap is my foot could have come out a little bit further, and it would have given me a little bit better of a base to wrap. Now, the issue with that is, if someone was looking heads up, I'm opening myself up to getting shot a little bit more. So there's times that a step out could be good, but practicing this kind of a thing where I have to wrap real quick is going to be helpful. And same thing, diving out to then slide. Something that it's not the end of the world, but it would be good to try to get lower. And trying to practice that really low, like where your ribs are basically on the ground. Just because if you're trying to get underneath the lane, sliding out real quick is not necessarily the worst, because I did drop, but I think I can definitely get lower. So got the outside shot. Something, I think I missed this one. So same thing, I was running and gunning, shooting at this, shoot the heads up, shoot the wrap. See, there's that repositioning. So practice both. Try out both of them, but make sure that you have a real stable foundation there, so that way what it is that you know, or sorry, that your foundation is good, so that way you know that you can get that wrap real hard. If you feel off balance, that's probably not correct. And then this one too, on the way out. So one, you can see that I can really go, I don't have to take that extra step as I'm diving out because my foot's already turned. When I slide in, sometimes the turf might be, it might stick a little bit. Sometimes the ground is just different, so it's not, I practice here and then go over to a grass field and have the same issue possibly. So as I slide out, going down, I personally like to put my hand down and kind of use it as like a pivot point. But this is another one of those instances that, yes, I got lower. So if they were shooting high for me, I'd get underneath it. But to practice that real low slide, like personally, I would rather get lower because yes, over the top here, I'm going to get underneath that, but I'm thinking if someone's shooting a lower shot, I want to still be able to get really low underneath it and still be able to get in. Something else that you want to practice is when you get out to that certain point, getting the pop-up right behind the bunker, because you don't want to overslide and you don't want it to be that you're sliding and then kind of having to like hop into the bunker. If you're sliding out and then being able to go right behind it and block out whoever it is that you need to block out. So in this case, let's say it was this player. I need to stop before I get to the outside of that Aztec, because if they can shoot, let's say that they already got there before me, and this was a delay and I'm going out. If they have paint going out down the wire and I overslide, I'm going right into it and I'm gonna get shot. If I can slide right behind it and then come up, one, they might not have seen me because I can use that bunker to block me out, but then also I can get up and then start to engage that player. Yeah, so you saw that one, it wasn't as, I didn't reposition my foot, so I was able to still get the wrap. With this laning drill, all I'm doing is shooting a burst. So have the one target there. I actually did move across here, so it was going across from kind of like a corner to the middle, kind of like more heads up. And then I'm also doing the cross, and there's another one that I was actually pulling straight up, because sometimes you have it where someone is right next to you. So practicing, like I kind of like this one where it's more of like a golf swing. Some people like to come straight up, but I feel it's good to practice everything, see what works best for you, but also be ready for, because if someone was right here, and running out, I have to go over them. So I might need to pull up like this, so that way I can get the shot on. Something else that you want to watch out for when you're doing these kinds of drills is making sure that if you're only shooting like 3 balls, that's okay. But it is good to practice getting into ramping, because you don't want it to be that the first shot is real accurate, but then you have a delay in those next couple balls and the player goes straight through it. So practicing and getting it into ramping is important. And I usually like to have it where once I hit it like 3 times, then I'll switch. So like that one, the ramping was a lot better, and that one too. And then this is that straight up shot that I was talking about. So just trying to imitate, so that the target's right here. You can't see it. It's in the same spot, but it's basically, you know, home to home. There, you can see it there. So same thing, you know, just pulling up, trying to get it. I probably need to start a little bit further back. So now this one, I am shooting at this target, wrapping and shooting this target, and then diving into the Dorito 1 and playing a wrap, and then coming across, wrapping and shooting this target. So this one, what I wanted to focus on is making sure my feet aren't coming all the way up, but I also want it to be that I'm being explosive getting into that spot. So like the stability looks good here for my legs. So maybe it was just a matter of the warm up, or maybe I started catching that. So critique yourself, guys. So once I hit the target, shoot the middle, and then running straight in. And I want to pause it. So my foot comes up a little bit too much here, and I corrected it and got it down, but making it where I've kind of found for myself, if I turn my foot instead of trying to go in, and this is gonna be kind of weird to do, instead of going in and having my feet flat like I'm sliding on my quads, I'm kind of sliding on the side of my legs. So that way I can still be flat and go in, but not have my feet come up as much. So the pop up there, oh, actually I didn't like that little karate kick. I don't know if I realized I did that, just because I don't want to get caught by a ball. So wrap and shoot there, slide. This one actually got off balance a little bit, and definitely can slide lower. I didn't do a straight in dive. I just was doing more of like a hip slide, or a knee slide, I mean. But you can see I got off balance a little, so something I need to make sure I have. And I think I correct it in the next one. Like this one, the accuracy on the first shot was not good. This one is going to be better if I remember correctly. So the straight in. So you saw like it kicked up a little bit. I'm being nitpicky with myself. Yeah, keeping those feet down is important, because as you're going in, you just don't want to give them that extra little bit. But you can see how my body's kind of turned a little, and like even like my left leg, you can see here, it's more on like the side, the inside of it, as I'm sliding in and then coming up. And then this one, more of a hip slide. Definitely got lower than the last one. Should try to practice going lower even, because if someone's shooting a high lane here, just want to make sure I'm getting as low as possible. So that's definitely something I can do better. But you can see how quickly I'm sliding and then just trying to pop right back up, so that way I can get the shot there. And then of course switch to other hand. My snap didn't seem as good. So see how I kind of turn my hips here? So this way I'm just making it where my feet are able to come down. So when I kind of shift it a little bit, I think it helps out a lot to just keep your feet flat and then be able to start popping up. And this one I actually had a brain fart, because I shoot the target and then I run and gun. I'm gonna blame it on the heat. So shoot the target, shoot the inside, run. Something else I noticed when I was going through this footage is I feel like I need to pump my arms a little bit more, just so that way I can really get more of that explosion. I do feel like from the previous video, I had seen an improvement in the speed, so that's good. So there's always room for being faster, so just something. And then same thing, like that one was better. It was more of a flop. Probably could have collapsed a little bit more, but my feet stayed low, so that was good. So from the time going down to the other side of the field to coming to this side, maybe mentally I was thinking about it, because you'll feel it. You'll feel your feet go up and it's like, oh, that's not good. Yeah, and then the wrap there, and then the slide. So you saw it was a little bit on the hip and then pulling up from my knee. I think I definitely need to focus on also practicing, just trying to get as low as possible in those slides to get underneath anything, and just be ready for going underneath it. Because if I have it where the muscle memory is this more hip slide, then that's going to be an issue, because I might just automatically go into like an autopilot and as I'm sliding in. So having it where my brain already knows like, oh, here it's this height, I need to go low, and then my body's just in autopilot and can just do it. So that's just some stuff that I noticed with myself. So thank you everyone for being a part of this, and see you in the next one.